pleasure to meet y'all at last, and welcome back to the Vlog-A-Thon 4.0. And when I'm saying welcome back to the Vlog-A-Thon, I almost feel like I'm getting a little bit too repetitive with that, so maybe new greetings are bound to come into play. Oh, and I got one. I could just say, a pleasure to meet y'all at last. This is the Vlog-A-Thon 4.0, the fourth installment in the series of mine that I've basically made in April 2019, and I mean, I'm pretty sure more things like that will come down the line, but I can't really seem to get very creative with that kind of format. So of course the traditional a pleasure to meet all at last, and of course the closing that I've been doing to pretty much all my videos for several years now. Of course they're going to stick around for a long time. I don't really know exactly when. I could probably forfeit both the intro and outro that I've traditionally done with every one of my videos that I've been doing for years now. But until anything does change, that's pretty much what I'm sticking with. It's what I know best, and it's something that a lot of people have actually recognized me for. Yeah. But that's far besides the point, because here in the Vlog-A-Thon 4.0, this is basically vlog number 13 out of 58. And I'm still quite a long ways to go here, but I just can't help but imagine exactly what else could I possibly bring into the Vlog-A-Thon to talk about even. Well, you know what? This vlog here is especially going to highlight a couple things relating to what cameras I use. Typically, I've used cameras such as my Sony Handycam, which is currently being used right now to record this episode. But let's also not forget about the Panasonic Lumix DC-FZ80 camera, which is basically just a hybrid between a camcorder and an actual photographic camera itself. Very similar in design to that of a Nikon or a Fujifilm, but I will say that the Panasonic DC-FZ80, being that it does get some higher quality and it also gets some pretty good frame rate, I can't really say that it's too much better than the Sony Handycam, because, well, I'm very reliable on a camera as well, arm that extends out and can flip over, so that way I could see myself in the frame and adjust it just to the way I want it to be. With the Panasonic Lumix, that's pretty difficult to do because, well, the screen is pretty much fixed and it cannot move around, meaning I pretty much just have to go back and forth between the back side of the camera and the front just to see what I can probably fix, just so I can be in the frame just right. And with the Sony Handycam, I'm pretty much all set to go there. But I also occasionally use my phone, which of course is my Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge. But I don't really use it that often. I mainly use it for some close pieces, as well as HJN episodes. Most of them. The ones that take place in this patio for the most part. And I really gotta say that all those cameras have really gotten me to where I've come to now. So, for about 2 years now, 2.5 to be more specific, cameras like those have been very helpful in my life. I was really able to overcome a lot of challenges. I was really able to take on a lot of risks that not a lot of people would do, and I really gotta say that there's been a lot of adventures coming on through this. But let's also not forget, these cameras are also being used as part of the production for Nerve Secret Reveal Bolts of Intrigue, as well as some others that'll be done down the line. Of course, I will talk more about those projects later, but here's the big picture about this vlog in particular, and why I'm talking about my cameras in general. Pretty soon, the time would pretty much come over for me to upgrade my cameras yet again. Possibly sell all the old ones and get a brand new one, fresh off the lot. Of course, I bought the Sony Handycam and Panasonic Lumix brand new at the time, but I will say that they both done their purpose to help me out with a lot of my work. I can't really say though that they're going to be the best ones that I'm going to have here. Pretty soon I'm going to have to move on to something different. See if I can experiment around a little bit, and then also find out which one's pretty much worth my money. So this is pretty much where I come down to the conclusion here about what could I possibly find and what might I actually spend my money on. Well, there are a couple things I might actually do. The cameras that I currently got, including my Sony and my Panasonic, well, I could probably sell them both on my eBay page. Whereas with some of the others that I've also had in the past, they might also end up getting ready to go as well. But as for my phone, well, of course I'm going to be keeping that for some time. I don't really have any considerations set aside for wanting a new phone, because that S7 Edge really has been getting through some tough times. Even though I've dropped it a bunch, and I've really endangered it. So much so that I shouldn't be trusted with it ever again, but somehow I just am. And that's pretty much just that. So, the bottom line here is that, well, actual cameras are pretty much going to have to be sold off at some point. Even the Sony Handycam. Because it is still a good camcorder though, not too good really. I'll still keep it around here. And what I might do is that I'll just simply sell the Panasonic for at least $350. Because there are quite a few accessories and a memory card that I was able to put together for it as well. So, that's pretty much just what that is. But what kind of camera would I possibly get next? Well, I did some research, and there are some pretty good DSLR-based cameras out there. Ones that could cost between $500 and $800. I mean, that would be pretty darn expensive. But it would have to be a move that I will have to make at some point in the future. Whether if it's in the next 5 years or anywhere between then, it's pretty much going to be an option that I might have to take on sooner rather than later. So, come to think of that though, the type of cameras that I have actually come across include a few Nikons, Canons, and Sony and the like. The brands are pretty much one thing to gaze upon. But I have done a lot of research, as I've said. And I was able to find a few cameras that seem to stand out. So of course, the Canon Vixie RF series just might be the trick. And being that that camera is actually not that expensive nowadays, it might actually be worth it. But you know what? Until those times happen, these are pretty much just going to be the cameras I'll have to stick around with for some time. Let's also not forget that here on the Vlog-A-Thon 4.0, still got a long pathway to go, but if you want to see more, go down to my channel. Make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, follow me on social media, and stay on the Hollywood side.